Hi, best friend. Welcome to the Real Estate Talk podcast. My name is Rutumaravete and I am your host. Um, Time management. Okay, this is one of the things that everybody in the real estate industry struggles with. I don't know how many times I have to go back to my calendar to try and make it work. But don't stress, bestie, because we are going to work it out together and make sure that by the end of this series, we are ready to grind. Okay, so we have spoken about cold calling, we have spoken about ways of prospecting. Our guest spoke about how it's different aspects of becoming a realtor, managing your emotional intelligence. There's so many things that we have spoken about in the previous episode, and I should take this time to appreciate the love and the support, your comments, and it keeps me going. I am glad that we are helping each other learn. My aim is actually to make sure that we nail this industry because it's not the easiest, and to see your comments and how you guys feel about the podcast in general and the things that we share on the podcast. It's very, very not. It's very, very overwhelming in a way of joy and happiness, and I can't be happier with that. So, bestie, before we continue, I just want to encourage you that if you are coming across this page for the first time, please do give us a thumb up, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a beautiful comment, because that is what grows this community, and it will also help people like you to find this video. So, let me give you a time. There you go. Almost there. Thank you. Right, and for my best friends that has been with me, thank you so much for the love, and I hope your businesses are excelling and you are killing it, because there is no way we wouldn't make it in this industry when we have each other. Another thing that I want to get out of the way, if you want a cold calling script, please send an email to the email down below. When you send your email, you're going to have to screenshot your comment on the channel. You're going to have to send us that you have subscribed, and that is the way we are going to have to send you the scripts. So if you haven't done those things, you're definitely not a best friend, so we can't share our bestie goodies, okay? We are talking about the dragon of real estate, something that we juggle with every single day, and that is time management. I think on my first year of being a realtor, one thing that I struggled the most with was managing my time. And it's so very stressful. Excuse me, it's very stressful when you know what you're doing and when you know what you need to do, but you still feel like there's no enough time of the day for me to do everything. There is no enough hours of the day for me to do everything. You know, there are people that are so driven, and you have a lot that you want to do, that you want to accomplish, and now you feel like there's no time at all. But let me tell you something. Listen here, I have a strategy that is going to help you to break that barrier. There is definitely enough time for us to take our business from 0 to 100, and we're gonna go through it together. What a beautiful way than breaking down what I think is a successful schedule for my week. And I have tested this with some of my friends, some of my besties in real estate, my fellow colleagues, and it works. If you make sure that you incorporate all the things that I'm talking about today, I can promise you that you are going to have a successful week of work. And I want you to come back and comment in this video if it has worked for you. The reason why we need to learn time blocking and time management is the fact that we are in a self-driven industry. So if you wake up in the morning and you decide, I'm not going to do anything, there's no one that is going to say anything to you. The only time you're going to have a meeting with yourself is when you see that your numbers are not speaking, your numbers are not enough, and that's when now regrets comes in. But who wants to live in regrets? Okay, we all don't want to live in regrets. We all want to excel in our business. We all want to grow our brand. We all want to grow our business in a way that we don't want to be living in regrets. And that is why it is important that we learn time blocking and time management and know how to do it in a way that we don't get burnt out. Because one of the biggest things that I've found in real estate is that a lot of realtors quit because they end up being burnt out. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to manage their schedule, and at most they don't even know what to do when they wake up in the morning. And that can be the most frustrating thing for you to go through when you are running a business. One thing, before we even start breaking down the week, I want to leave you with a thought that, remember, you are the CEO of this business and you need to start thinking like one. So right now, what I want you to do is to actually write 4 or 5 prospecting ideas that you want to incorporate in your calendar, so that when I talk about prospecting, you can just add that lead generation strategy that you have to your calendar. It will all make sense when I go through my calendar. So remember, we are bound to be successful if we spend almost 80% of our time prospecting. By that I mean trying to find new business, finding new clients every time, servicing our clients. That is the thing that make us stand to be more successful. So how we spend our time is very crucial. You see that I repeatedly put prospecting measures into place on my calendar because I want to make sure that no day go by without me prospecting. So let's assume our week is gonna start on Monday and it's gonna end on Sunday. Yeah, I said Sunday. Yeah, I did say Sunday. So I mean, you do know that we are in a more 24/7 business. But the main aim why I want us to go through this time blocking and time management is that we don't work like that, because we are human at the end of the day. We have our own things. We need our own time. We need our own self-care stuff. So I'll tell you, Monday, let's take Monday. Remember, Monday is one of the days where most realtors are tired. If you work over the weekend, you know what I'm talking about. Sundays are full of open houses. You've been up and down with clients. You have never rested because most of clients are available on weekends. If you are one that doesn't work on weekend, I'm going to challenge you. Please start doing viewings on weekend, because that is where you get to find mother, daughter, father. In most of cases during the week, you hear someone come and view a property and say, oh, I'm coming to view. Oh, my husband is not around. Are you available for a second viewing? So when you're doing viewings on a weekend, it saves you that, because all the decision makers are there. So if you don't work on weekends, rethink about it, right? So on Monday, most of us are tired, but also we don't want to start our week with, I'm tired, right? So what do I then do on a Monday? I have gym every morning from 7 to 8, except on Fridays. So if you are also a gym person, do incorporate that on your calendar. One thing that I know is that going to the gym late in the evening, for me, it doesn't work, because evenings, most of the time, you have appointment, things are happening, you're just tired and you feel like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. So eat your frog first and do it in the morning. Put that gym or walk there in the morning so that you get done with it already. And then you're gonna have to spend at least 2 hours doing your Instagram, your Facebook ads, your listing portals, updating your listings and checking what is happening, what you have on the portal, how many views do you have on that property. And then you're gonna take this time to give your sellers and your landlord feedback. So you're gonna have to tell them, hi Mr. Seller, we haven't had any inquiries the past weekend. These are the activities that we carried out and still no inquiries. And then if you have to do price canceling, that is your moment of price canceling, having those discussions with your seller and emailing them the reports about their properties, or sending them a simple WhatsApp text to tell them what happened in their property last week. The reason why we do that is that we need to keep our sellers and our landlord engaged so that they don't think we are sleeping on their property. Whether the property is selling or not, you still have to give them feedback. So this is where I do that at between 10 to 12. And yeah, so between 12 to 12, I'm doing my Instagram post, I'm updating my ads, I'm checking my listings, I am rearranging pictures, changing descriptions there and there, sending my feedback to my sellers. And of course, the time slot will have to depend on how many sellers it is, but I advise you to spend at least 2 minutes per listing, check it through, check how many views, send the feedback immediately, so that you make sure that within that 2 hours period you are done with the task. One thing that most of us do is that we drag the task more than it's supposed. We give it more attention because it's the easiest. So because it's just updating Instagram social, so you end up spending so much time. So block it to 2 hours on a Monday. We're still going to allocate another slot for it during the week, so it's not over yet. However far you get, you can do half of the sellers you have on a Monday, and then you do the other half on the next slot. And then after that, right after that is 12 o'clock. So I prefer to have my lunch at 12 o'clock, between 12 to 1. And then after that, 1 o'clock to 3 p.m., we're doing something that we all don't like. I do cold calling. So cold calling or cold emailing, between the two you need to choose one. What I usually do, I do both. So I'll do 1 hour of cold calling and 1 hour of cold emails. So at that moment, what I advise you, if you have another prospecting idea, put it there and make sure that you do it for that hour, for those hours, that and you do it to the perfection. So in that hour, you're not picking calls, you know what's up in your friend, you're not ordering McDonald's, you're not doing anything, you are just specifically cold calling and cold emailing, making sure that you are pouring into your business. And from 3 o'clock to 6 p.m., that is when my appointments start on a Monday. I take appointments, I took people to my viewings, and then that is an hour that those are the hours where I'm out in the streets, out and about. And if I don't have anything scheduled for that time, I then add something like an area drive, go and do my boards and stuff like that, which will also touch base at the end of saying, I'm a new realtor, I don't have an appointment, then what? Okay. And then it doesn't end there. When you come back, freshen up, 7 p.m. to 7:30, do your daily review, check if you have reached out to everyone you needed to reach out to, check if you did everything that you needed to do for the day, and then you can call it a day, then spend the day with family, right? That is a successful Monday, isn't it, bestie? It is a successful Monday. And one thing, it was easy, it was not hectic, it was not too much, it was just easy things. You balance it out so that you're not exhausted, because we understand you are coming from a full weekend of showings, right? And then let's go to Tuesday, right? Tuesday, now I call Tuesday my prospecting day. This is a day where you're never gonna make me stand out of my desk. I am going to make sure that I'm sitting and I'm prospecting. So I'm doing all my lead strategies that requires me to do, and I make sure that I'm doing them on a Tuesday. So on a Tuesday, on my purpose, it's cold calling. Call different complexes and estates on that day, and I do it from 10 to 12, lunch break 1 to 3. I don't have any social media, I don't have any administration. I make sure that I'm not doing any administration at that time. I just focus on pouring to my business, because no matter how much we hate cold calling or prospecting, if we don't have conversation with homeowners, our business is gonna stay stagnant. So that's what I do on a Tuesday. And again, my viewings will start anywhere between 3 o'clock to 6 p.m. And later on the day is a daily review. Then Wednesday, now this is the middle of the week. Everyone is already getting on the week, right? So we also getting on the week, but there's no way we stop. We need to also continue doing what we're supposed to do. So the same thing that we did on a Monday is what we do on a Wednesday. Remember, I did say you're gonna have another slot of the Instagram updating and social media. So on Wednesday from 10 to 12, we're doing new posts, new properties of the week. We're updating the other sellers and the landlords that we haven't updated. If we had a lot, if you have updated all of them, you're gonna spend your time checking your social media, watching a clip on YouTube on how to do certain things, such as this podcast. You need to schedule that time where you are intentional about watching what other realtors are doing, get to know something. Maybe you're struggling at a certain lead strategy, go watch a video about how to master that lead generation strategy. So that is the 2 hours where you're spending time equipping yourself and learning and pouring into yourself, because if you don't pour into yourself, you're not going to know anything, and that is going to be a problem, because then you won't be able to give the best self out there. So that 2 hours, if you don't have anything to post, use it to learn something about that will make your business excel. Then you can still have your 1 hour lunchtime. Be intentional about lunchtime. I think one thing that us realtors do, we work so hard that we forget to take care of ourselves, and that is why we feel like this is even harder. So you need to be intentional about that hour of lunch where you sit in doing nothing, and it's okay. I know I struggle with doing nothing. Sometimes I find myself responding to WhatsApps and whatnot, but I'm learning to actually be content on my WhatsApp time. Take it as a 1 hour off, and I don't do anything. I just indulge on my food, rest, and make my brain get the rest that it deserves, so that when I then start going back to clients and whatnot, I'm not grumpy. You find most of the people, every time I walk into a viewing and I'm bubbly, I'm laughing, people says, realtors are always angry. And unfortunately, it is something that people have made it our reality, but I want to tell you that is not the reality. We need to also be happy, we need to also be bubbly, we need to also pour to our clients as much as we want someone to pour to us. And the only way for us to do that is to allow ourselves to rest, is to allow ourselves our lunch hour, is to allow ourselves to get poured on, and then make sure that we have something to pour. Remember, you can't pour from an empty glass, and that is why it's important for you to allocate time for you to learn, time for you to get new skills, time for you to actually read something that you love, and time for you to do nothing. And if you master that, your time blocking will be easier. So let's move to the next thing, and then between 1 to 3 we are back at it, prospecting. So this is where you either cold calling, you are cold emailing, you are sending people messages, reaching out to homeowners to help them, reaching out to buyers to help them. So whichever prospecting strategy you want to incorporate, they incorporate it, and make sure that you suck it up for 2 hours. And then your appointment starts, because our appointments never end, right? And then now on Thursday, I am a free-spirited person. I actually understand that Thursdays are more like, we can't wait for Friday. Remember, you need to study the mood of your niche. My niche is young professionals, so most of the time on Thursday they can't wait for Friday. Everything bothers them, everything is irritating them. So I prefer Thursdays to be my freestyle day, where even if I have someone that couldn't make the viewing time between 3 p.m. to 7, they say, okay, I'm busy at that time. Thursdays are the day that I can say, okay, you can come at 10 o'clock. What I would advise you not to do is to take appointments at your prospecting time in the name of, oh no, I just want to move this property quickly. Your business is going to struggle, because once you're done moving that property, you're going to have nothing left. So you need to be very strict about your prospecting time, so much so that you can't do anything else. If it's time for you to pour into your business, take it as people that are in retail, for example, people that own retail companies. They have time where they go and stock up for their shop, and they do stock taking, right? Why do they spend time doing that? Because if you walk in tomorrow and they didn't stock up, you won't find anything to buy. So they make sure that there is something for you to buy. And this is what it is for us. When I'm sitting prospecting, it's not me saying I don't want to come to an appointment. It's me spending time stocking up. Because what will be the point of someone calling you and say, I want a 3-bedroom 2-bathroom for 1.5 million, and you have nothing because you were busy running after one property where someone says, I can only view at 10, I can only view at this time, and you kept running around. You have to direct the times that you are available, and when you also tell your homeowners that I'm gonna be coming for viewings around this time and this time, right? And then on Thursday you can then accommodate everyone else that is not able to make it after working hours, that say, okay, I work from home, I want to do this during the day. So that's what I do on Thursday. Freestyling, I'm available from any time, and based on my appointments on that day, that's when I put in my prospecting. If I have a full day of appointments, so be it, because I've already spent 3 days making sure that I'm talking to new people, making sure that I am reaching out to new owners, right? So on Thursday, if I have a mentorship class, if I have to recap with one of my agents, if I have to network with anyone, this is the time where now I can do that, as long as it's going to benefit my business. I'm not yet talking about networking, friendships and whatnot. No, hold on, we're still at work, we're still working. Okay, so now let's move to Friday. I personally don't work on Fridays, so I don't take appointments, I don't prospect. I take Fridays to do social events, networking events, meeting up with friends for lunch, talking to going out for lunch with friends, going out to see that property that I always wanted to see, going out to see that new development I always wanted to see. But everything that has to do with resting my mind and not being proactive and not being a genius all the time. So on Friday I take it easy. I can also put in some listing appointment where it's already finalized, I'm just going to shoot pictures. I can also do road shows and pop-ups on a Friday. The only thing I'm not doing is spending time prospecting, calling clients and whatnot. So I want my mind to relax on a Friday, to take a little bit of a breather and make sure that I am rejuvenated for the weekend, because it really does get down on the weekend for realtors. If you're a realtor, you know that weekends are a lot to deal with, and more especially because this is where, like I said, people are most available for viewings, right? So on Friday I take it easy, I only do what I can, I pour into myself, I go look for that window shopping that I've always wanted to do. I go look for that special, for that sale, whatever I have to do that has nothing to do with me being a creative all the time. That's what I do on a Friday. So if you're a new realtor, this might not be advisable for you to do, because you're not tired as yet. You still have to dig deeper, you still have to call. So please put more prospecting things, excuse me, do your cold calling by that time, do your door knocking by that time. Try to do something, incorporate something, because you can't necessarily say you are tired because you still don't have much going on, right? With me, a lot goes on in my week. I have to mentor agents. I had to respond to certain things. I have to service certain I have to service the business as well. I have to strategize on how we're gonna build Muga properties. So sometimes it's important for me to take that time off, where even my colleagues and my partners knows that I am not available that much on that day, so that I get to pour back to myself and I can simply go for a lunch and not feel guilty that I've taken time off work. Okay, so Saturday and Sundays, most of the time you will have showings. If you don't have, it's okay to rest. And also a Sunday as well, if you don't have, it's okay to rest. One thing about mine, I go to church. After church I then start doing my showings. But sometimes if you don't have those over the weekend, it's okay for you to rest, more especially if you're starting out and you don't have much properties on the market. You might not be as fully booked as someone that already has a lot of property. What I can advise is that take one, either Sunday or Saturday, put one property on show or go attend a show house, so that you can then have interaction with different people. Because the more people you talk to, the better. You don't want a situation where you're not talking to anyone and nothing will ever come, right? So yes, we have actually break down a week. So lastly, that one thing that I wanna touch is that someone will say, but I don't have um listings as yet. So what do I do at a time of appointment? Do I continue calling or what? What I suggest is that do schedule some appointments for yourself by means of picking what you're going to learn on that particular day. So let's say maybe you have seen a video of someone teaching you cold calling strategy. You can have an appointment with yourself to say, at this time I'm gonna be learning this. And then you can also schedule appointment in your sphere of influence where you can go see someone maybe that have purchased a property, learn about their process, their difficulty, their challenges, and then that will help you build your marketing strategies of saying, okay, I'm trying to help people to prevent this. And then take time to meet there's a lot of coaches online that want to coach people. Schedule those appointments with them, hear from them, take what works for you, and most of them do have a free strategic planning if you've checked, so you can schedule that and that appointment and listen, tell them, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve, and they'll help you with ideas. And furthermore, you can also go job shadow your fellow agents. Ask your senior agents if they have appointments so that you can go with them. That way you get to learn faster. Do not just sit and say, I don't have anything to do, because we always have something to do, and there is no way you can tell me you don't have anything to do. There's a lot to do. You can job shadow your fellow agent, you can book coaching session, you can watch something that is relatable to what you are trying to achieve. You can spend time doing your business plan, because we all need a business plan. We all need to know where our business is going and what we are going to do. Spend time developing your marketing strategy for the properties that you are going to list or that you are going to list. Spend time doing your niche. Spend time building your business and understanding where and how and when you want to be in a certain place, because those are the things that all the CEO does. If you didn't hear me say anything in this video, I want you to hear this. You are the CEO of your business. Your principal does not owe you anything. Fellow agents don't owe you anything. You owe it to yourself to make it. You owe it to yourself to be successful. And today I want to challenge you to start thinking like a CEO and start blocking time. Stop playing with your friends that are going to get paid month end. Not that they're bad people. You are, because you are the one that does not know how to manage your time. If you follow this calendar, there's plenty of places where you can have lunch date with your friends. There's a lot of places where you can have fun. There's a lot of places where you can rest. It's all up to you to do the right thing. Spend time pouring into your business, and your business will pour onto you. So bestie, if you've watched up until here, I want you to leave us a heart, a sweet comment, and if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, and make sure that you follow me on all my other social media platforms, so that if there's anything that I share, you can also indulge. And I will see you on the next one.